blender, add your lychees, and we're going to blitz them together until they're nice and fine. Then you want to strain the mixture through a fine sieve, and using a spoon, just go around in a circle motion until you get rid of any bits of the lychee, because we really want just the puree. So just move it up and down, and then you'll be left with just this meat. So just discard that. Next, we want to melt our white chocolate, so place it in microwave in 30-second breaks because you don't want to burn it, or do it over the double boiler. And once your white chocolate is melted, we're just gonna set this aside. Make sure there are no lumps and it's completely nice and smooth. In a bowl, add your double cream or heavy cream along with your lychee syrup or the lychee puree that we just did, and we're going to boil this for about 10 to 15 minutes until you start to see that the mixture is kind of hardened and cooked. And we're slowly going to pour that into our white chocolate mixture. Once you put that in, you want to mix it together, and you want to add a little bit at a time. As you can see, the mixture kind of goes hard together. So then, using a whisk, mix everything together until it's nice and smooth. Ideally, you want to place this into the fridge for a whole day until it's nice and set. Into your food processor, add your ground almonds, then add icing sugar, and I like to layer it just on top. Then add more ground almonds, so this way it gets mixed quite nice and well and even. We're going to close the lid, and we're going to blitz this together until it becomes nice and fine powder. This way it saves you time to sieve it. But if you don't have a food processor, don't worry, you can just sieve the mixtures together into a bowl. Then place all your mixture into a large bowl and make a little dip in the middle with your spatula. And we're going to add our egg whites in here. Make sure that they're room temperature. This gives you the best result. Then you want to mix everything together, combine the egg whites with our almond mixture, and just mix it together until it becomes nice sort of almondy paste, just like this. You can just set it aside and leave it for now. Next, we're going to make our sugar glaze. So add your water and sugar into a pan. And we're going to cook this on a high heat at first until the sugar starts to melt. And you can use a little wooden spatula to mix everything together. Just move it around, make sure that everything is mixed in together. You might want to use a pastry brush with some water. Make sure it's not caramelizing on top and the sugar is not burning. And then I'm placing a thermometer or sugar thermometer, whatever you have in your kitchen, just to keep an eye on the temperature. While the sugar is boiling, we're going to add our egg whites into a stand mixer and whisk this on high speed. When the syrup reaches 115 degrees Celsius and your egg whites start to get a little frothy, we then want to cook the syrup until it reaches 118 degrees and pour it over the egg whites in a slow and steady stream. You're going to whisk this for about 7 minutes until you start to see stiff peaks. Then you want to stop the mix to scrape down and then whisk for extra couple of minutes. And then when you can turn the bowl over, then the meringue doesn't fall out, you know you've reached the stiff peaks. I also like to add vanilla extract, so just add that in the middle and then whisk again, and then once it's incorporated, it should be done and ready. Next, grab your spatula full of the meringue and fold it into the almond sugar mixture, and you want to mix it until it's well combined. This actually allows the mixture to thin out a little bit before you add the rest of the mixture and doesn't get out all the air. Fold everything together by going around the bowl with a spatula and then through the middle. Continue folding until the batter gets thin enough that it drips off the spatula and falls into a ribbon. It should take about 10 seconds for the ribbon to disappear into the rest of the batter. That is when you know that the batter is ready to pipe. And that's when you want to pipe it into a piping bag with a round tip. Pipe the little rounds of batter about 3.5 centimeters in diameter, spacing them 2 centimeters apart on the flat baking trays lined with baking parchment paper. You want to gently tap the tray on the work surface a couple of times so there are no bubbles. Then leave to stand for at least 30 minutes until a skin forms on the shelves. They shouldn't be sticky when you touch them. Then you want to preheat your oven to 150 degrees Celsius or 300 Fahrenheit and bake them for about 23 minutes. Times of baking might vary depending on your oven, so it's completely a lot of trials. If your oven is different and they brown on one side, turn the fan down. You might need to cook them for longer or shorter. It completely depends on your oven and your baking environment. Once they're baked, leave them to cool down and gently take them off with your spatula knife. To make the macarons more pretty, add yellow food coloring and then take a pastry brush and just brush over your macaron shell to create this beautiful color and a pattern. Then you want to take your lychee white chocolate filling and pipe it around the circle, just like that, leaving a little spot for the raspberry jam that's going to add that kick to this macaron. I absolutely love these guys. Like I said, they taste more like white chocolate and raspberry. And I wish the lychee flavor came out through stronger. So maybe if you do want that, you can add a little bit of lychee in the middle as well. So it's completely up to you to experiment and let me know in the comments down below what you have tried. Then top it up with the second macaron shell and leave them in a fridge overnight to set completely, and they're best enjoyed the next day. And I know some of you can't wait that long. I couldn't. But honestly, they really are the best the next day. So yeah, look at these, super pretty, super delicious, and I really hope you try this recipe. Don't forget to check out all my social media as well and tag me if you do make these. And yeah, I've done loads of other macaron recipes